for tuning into my channel. If you are new, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So today's video, I will be reviewing the Nicol Concilio and Tarte Cosmetics brush collaboration, which was recently released. If you aren't aware of who Nicol is, she is a beauty influencer, and she's actually pretty new at doing this. According to her, she's only been on Instagram and such for about a year and a half, but she has this huge following, which is what drew the collaboration, I'm assuming. So, excuse me. For starters, there are 6 brushes in the collection or set, and they retail for $39, which I thought was a steal because Tarte Cosmetics usually sells a single brush for about $40. So for this to be around the same price as what they're selling a single brush, I knew I was interested in like seeing a few reviews, seeing what brushes were being offered, and ultimately trying to get my hands on it. So I did get my hands on the brush set, and this is what I have to show you today. So it comes in this little, I guess I'll zoom it in, this little pink and purple box with gold accents all over. There is also the back, which has a picture of Nicol, her bio, and it says the following. Well, not her bio. The back also says, here's what's inside: 6 limited edition gold brushes, Beauty and the Buff Air Buki foundation brush, face framer powder brush, smooth moves eye blending brush, shade thrower contouring eye brush, smudged up shadow smudge brush, and fangirl fan brush. So yeah, I guess I will be showing you the brushes, explaining to you what I use them for, because I actually use them in today's look, and showing you some possible dupes or similar brushes that I have in my collection already. So I'm going to start with the eye brushes because I did my eye makeup first. Also, according to Tarte and Nicol, you can use this entire set of brushes for your entire face of makeup. I'll talk to you guys about what I use the brushes for and if I only use these brushes a little bit later. But for starters, this is the blending brush that it comes with in the set. It reminds me a lot of my MAC 224. I'm actually gonna get that for you guys now so we can see them in person. They're both tapered blending brushes, but they both behaved in a similar manner. I used the 224 for over 3 years now, and this Tarte brush is a nice alternative. I also want to say the Tarte brush, the bristles were much softer, so I like that about it, but also it's more aesthetically pleasing, you know. The MAC brush is black and sleek, but this is gold. It's so pretty. So the next brush that I have to show you is the eye contouring brush. It's a cute brush. I have another similar brush in my collection, which I usually use for my outer V. I find that this angled eyeshadow brush just works best for that. And that's what I ended up using this brush for today. Well, I used it for my outer V, but also my actual lid color. And I really liked it. Compared to the brush that I already had in my collection, the Clarity E27 brush, I want to say the Tarte brush is much more fluffier, and it's bigger in general all around. It's like a bigger brush and a fluffier brush, but it was still able to get right in my outer V with no problems. And it even got on my lid too, and I really liked it. But for my lid, I used it for a shimmer shade. I don't usually use fluffy brushes for shimmer. I know it's like not good, it gives you fallout, but they said that you can use all of these brushes for your face, and I was trying to stay true to the what's being promoted by Tarte and Nicol. So I used it for my lid color too, and it applied, as you can see, but there was just some fallout that I wasn't happy with. So the final eye brush that I have to show you is the smudger brush, and honestly speaking, I would consider this a pencil brush. I don't know why they felt the need to call it a smudger brush. I didn't use it as a smudger brush. I used it as a pencil brush. And I just got in my like crease really nicely. The brush that I most likely found it comparable to in my collection is my Morphe M222 brush. Now the bristles are very similar to me. They I want to say the Morphe brush seems to be more like straight, where the Tarte brush seems to kind of fan out a little, if that makes any sense. Which is weird because it's supposed to, in my eye, I see as a pencil brush, but it does fan out just a little bit. So moving on to the face brushes now, guys. The first one I'm going to talk about is the powder brush. Now this brush, oh my gosh. I don't want to say it's my favorite in the collection, but it has a very special place in my heart. For starters, the white and the gold, just like, they look so nice together. Oh my god, like, they just complement each other so well. And then on top of that, I just really, this is the brush I ended up using. It was the most versatile for me. I used it for my under eye. I used it to set all my like cream things that I need to set. So on my eyes, I needed to set my color corrector. Under my eyes, I needed to set my concealer. I set my entire face with this brush, and I also applied my blush with this brush. So it was very versatile. But the brush that I would compare it to, it's not an exact dupe, but I would compare it to my Sigma F25 tapered face brush. So for starters, the first thing I noticed is that the bristles aren't quite the same. The Sigma brush is very much a tapered brush, whereas this brush, it just fans out more, and they're not built the same way, but I was able to use them in the same ways. Now, it was a little bit harder getting underneath my eye with this brush because the bristles, the head is just so much wider than my Sigma brush, which is what I usually use to do that. But it still got the job done. And also the bristles are just so soft. I wish you guys all watching could feel this, because these bristles are so smooth, so soft. I'm just like, I feel like a kid in the candy store. I just want to go and buy all the soft bristles powder brushes from Tarte right now. But moving forward with the rest of the brushes, I have my, oops, sorry guys. The next brush is their Fangirl fan brush. So this brush actually surprised me. I have multiple fan brushes in my collection. The one that I'm going to be comparing this to most closely. And then I also have, excuse me, this other fan brush, which is was my favorite fan brush to date. But this one's probably going to give it a run for its money. So for starters, the brush that I'm comparing it to is the Morphe 497. So they look pretty similar. They both have like dual fiber bristles. There is the they're both black and white. The ferrule seems to have about the same amount of bristles, but I think even on the screen you could tell that the Tarte brush is more dense and it's more fuller than the Morphe brush. Now, my encounters with the Morphe brush, I've had it for about 3 years now, and I hate it. I've used it twice, and both times it was a disaster. Like, it doesn't pick up product, and it just isn't I don't think it's a good brush in my opinion, or a well-made brush in my opinion. So when I got this brush and I was working with it today, I was preparing for it to have not be able to pick up a lot of the product of my highlighter, and so I tried to overcompensate for that and pick up a lot of the highlighter. And when I first applied it, I was just like, whoa, it was very pigmented, very bright. I had to go back in and tone it down. I love a bright highlight, but this was on another level and it had me looking crazy. So I went back in and I used, when I first applied it, I picked it up in the front, or just dipped it down perpendicular to the highlighter, and then I just tapped that into the place that I wanted it, and it was so bright. And then afterwards I ended up just going back and fanning it down and blending it into my blush, and it turned out amazing. Like I was so pleasantly surprised with this brush, and I'm very much like, I really enjoy it. And it's, like I said before, that Morphe brush, please guys, I don't recommend it. So the final brush I have in store for you guys is the Air Buki brush. This is what it looks like. It has a gold ferrule like the rest of the brushes, and it is very densely packed in the front, and compared to the space between is very small. It's not a very, there aren't very long bristles in this brush, but I want to say I was actually really enjoying using this brush. The foundation that I used today was my NARS All Day Luminous foundation, and I combined it with my Anastasia Beverly Hills stick foundations, and that's what it's the finish you have today. But despite having difficulty blending out the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation with this brush, it still did the job, and I feel like my foundation still looks flawless. Well, it looked flawless before I started melting and all this humidity here, but I was so surprised because it was really rough trying to blend it out with this brush, but in the end the foundation ended up being beautiful, so I'm very happy about that. I don't have an Air Buki in my collection, but I do know that Tarte sells the Air Buki permanently, but it just has a shorter ferrule. I wouldn't like that because I like to have my hand as far away from the bristles as possible, just so I have more control. But what I have been using to apply my foundation and smooth it over my face for the last year or so is this Kaylin O Wow brush. So I first came across this brush when I was looking for Artiste brush dupes. I wasn't going to spend $400 for a brush, even if it is a full brush set. It just wasn't going to happen. And a lot of people said this is a very comparable brush, and so I picked it up. It was on Amazon. It was on sale for like $12. And lo and behold, this brush was amazing. It was beautiful. I love it. I love the finish that it gives me. I love how the brush behaves. My only issue is that the spine of the brush is just like, it's very flimsy, and I'm always scared that it's gonna break on me. But I mean, I've had it for a year and it's $12. And I also picked up two when I bought this one that I had, and I haven't used the second one yet, so when it does break, or if it does break on me, I have a backup. But it's just something that I thought I would mention to you guys about the brush. I will probably end up, I don't know if I would say I would grab the Air Buki more, but I did like the Air Buki. So I guess because I have quite a few foundations, I could always just like rotate. So I could use this for like one foundation or one type of foundation, and then have the Air Buki for another type of foundation. Probably not my Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation, but something else. So now that I've gone over all the brushes in detail and how I use them in completing this look today, I guess I'll say overall I definitely enjoyed all of the brushes that I used, and I definitely am happy that I made the decision to purchase this set. For 6 high-end brushes that are great quality and honestly staples in your everyday makeup routine, you can't go wrong. And they're all less than $7 a piece actually, so it's honestly a steal. But if you aren't able to get your hands on the collection, or if you found out about it too late, definitely check out the brushes that I described as dupes or comparable earlier on in the video. I'll leave the links to all of those brushes as well as the prices down below. And I guess that's all for today's video. If you liked the video, definitely give me a thumbs up and share this video with your friends, your family, and anyone else in your network. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, things like that, or things that you feel like weren't answered in the video, don't be afraid to reach out to me in the comment section. And if you're not subscribed, you are doing yourself an injustice, and you need to click that subscribe button immediately. But like I said, that's all for today's video, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.